Buckle up, y'all. We're going to talk about working for free in the digital economy. I've gotten a couple questions so far this month on starting to charge for my work. And in my Show Your Work video from a few weeks ago, I talked about how important it is for me to give away my knowledge for free. It is a priority for me to document and to share the things that I learn about doing the work that I do. And as I mentioned in that video, that also has the side benefit of establishing a reputation for me. And lots of clients that have come to Multitude have found us because of the articles I put out. So ultimately, this version of working for free is something I do for myself of my own volition, and that ultimately leads to income. A lot of well-meaning people have suggested or demanded that I charge for this kind of stuff instead of putting it out there for anyone to use. But I would much rather raise the baseline of the whole industry and reform their behaviors and make best practices more freely available than to only do those improvements for people who can afford to pay me. I am, though, very happy to charge people for my specific advice on their specific situation. So whether that's a small podcast, a business, a company, a radio network, consulting means that I can help them understand what they should do in their specific project. And often before having our first conversation, I will send them a link to the relevant articles I've written on the topic on which they need help, because that way we can make sure that we start at a similar baseline before we get into advice for them. So to me, it's a relatively easy line to draw between sharing what I know and charging people for consulting, for services, for advice. And as a side note, publishing so much of my free advice makes it really easy to also decide what needs to be charged for and what isn't. If it's published, it's free, and if you need something more specific, my time has to be valued. It has been a lot harder to start charging for speaking at conferences. I have done a lot of free work over the years at VidCon, NerdCon, PodCon, Podcast Movement, all these conferences where I gave meticulously prepared talks and workshops that were, in some cases, standing room only, really well attended, and in some cases did not even get my badge comped. And there's a reason that so much of the internet and the digital economy functions on this sort of work for exposure model. The benefits of getting your name on a conference agenda, getting in front of the kind of people that attend that conference, those benefits are real. So I felt like I couldn't afford to turn down those opportunities. But I realized something recently that has really changed my attitude. My ability to accept that unpaid work is predicated on my relative economic privilege. If I'm able to find money for the flight, or it's in my city already, or I can stay with friends or split a hotel room at the conference, I am taking up the spot of somebody who would have had to turn down that opportunity if they weren't compensated. And that is really messed up. I've been a creator for a long time, but I've only recently been one that makes money doing my thing. And now that I'm in this position, I find it so objectionable that there are people out there who make money off of the free and donated labor of their fans, their supporters, their community members. Now, I come from the fandom era of the internet, so it's really normal for me to donate my time to a community that I really care about. And I've done plenty of forum moderating and fan work creation and administrative labor behind running some of my favorite communities. And that didn't strike me as bad at the time. But now that I see the other side of it, see how easy it would be to literally profit off of the devotion and the time and labor of my fans, it's unfathomable. Asking for compensation has already gotten me turned down at 2 conferences that I really wanted to go to. And because so many of these conference organizers are so influential in their fields and communities, it would be very risky for me to call them out by name. Maybe it's fear holding me back, maybe it's my genuine professional investment in remaining a figure that people want to support in this community. But nothing is going to change until the people whose influence could merit payment demand payment. So even if that means me losing out on opportunities, I'm going to do it because I have a relative platform. I have relative privilege and I have relative power to be able to say to a conference organizer, I know you want me there, I want to be there, this is what is going to stand between you and me doing that. And while I can't change how all of the digital economy functions overnight, what I can do is make sure that I never put anybody else in the position of choosing between going into debt or growing their career. So both Multitude as a company and me as a person compensate people for their work. We pay the friends who have contributed graphic design and music to our shows. We pay the artists whose fan art we turn into merch or giveaways. We compensate those who moderate our forums. We compensate those who make our transcripts. And of course, we make those transcripts free because accessibility is a right and not a privilege. I'm going to be writing more about this soon, about how much we pay people, how we decided to do that, and how we afford to do that, because I care about it and this industry needs to reform. And if I can help, I'm gonna do it. And I encourage you to do the same. Before you buy tickets to a conference or an event, ask if the participants are going to be compensated. If you are asked to speak somewhere, to pitch an idea, or to otherwise help create an event that is charging for entrance, ask for compensation. At minimum, demand a free badge for you and a +1, because you should not have to pay someone else to work for them. That's like multi-level marketing, not professional advancement. And hold your faves accountable. I will be doing my best to do the same. All right, I'll see you for more VEDO tomorrow.